Thanks for joining us here on 2K Sports for NBA basketball. This is Brian Anderson at the table with basketball royalty. Grant Hill and Clark Kellogg. Allie LaForce, our reporter. So Atlanta will get the first possession. Grant, during your 18-year career, you only went to a new team 3 times. Not a lot of movement there for you, my friend. What was switching teams like?
Well, B.A., at this point of the season, it's too early. I mean, you're still trying to get comfortable, trying to learn a new system, your new environment, and really just find your place within the organization.
So the opening lineup for the Timberwolves. Edwards at the 2 with McDaniels at the 3. MP is out there with Rudy Gobert. And it's Conley in at the point guard position. So much has been made about MP joining this team, Grant. But if you talk to him, he knows it all comes down to winning.
And that's the mentality he needs to have. Everyone wants him to win and win fast. But ultimately, players like MP are judged by how many rings they collect.
And he gets that one.
MP demonstrating some muscle on that finish. Knows how to score in those tight spots.
Pass to Okongwu. Outside Murray. A little over a minute gone here in the first quarter. Left side Hunter. Takes one from 10 feet. And that one hits the back iron. Well, Chris Finch has done a nice job with this group, Clark. Just seems like he needs a playmaker or two around Anthony Edwards.
That's a pretty good observation, B.A. I mean, there's no doubting Anthony Edwards starter. I mean, he's going to be one of the better players of this era, I would think. But you're right. He needs help. It's a team game. He can't do it alone.
Okongwu, no good.
Probably should have scored there. He usually does.
Pass to McDaniels. And here's Edwards outside. Okongwu with the rebound.
Just terrible defense. I don't know how he missed that shot.
Murray passes to Hunter. First quarter, just about 2 minutes in. McDaniels with some nice D.
They're one of the best leaders in the NBA. This team loves having Mike Conley in their locker room.
For Minnesota, they've gone just 2 for 4 from the floor. MP outside. Okongwu with the rebound. Griffin with it, and it's Gobert picking him up. Pass to Okongwu. Oh, the dunk by Okongwu!
And this guy, to me, embodies determination. Small at his position, but he still gets up and keeps plays alive. That's mind over matter for sure.
Now here's MP. And there's a 3-second violation. And let's use this break to recognize your Western Conference Player of the Week, MP.
And you could not find a more deserving guy for this award. His ability to be whatever his team needs on both ends of the floor is an essential part of their success out there.
The Hawks leading. Now Murray. Outside Hunter for 3. And it's Gobert with a rebound. Griffin against McDaniels. Pass to MP. Oh, trying his luck from deep. That's his 3rd basket in 5 shots. Solid work.
Asserting himself from range. MP doing his part to spread that defense out. You know, we can't measure Hart. I mean, he's not as big as the other power forwards, but his jumping ability and mindset is incredible.
It's Conley with the ball for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And going against Atlanta, their first meeting on the year.
They won both games against this club last season. Would love to repeat that this time around.
And guys, when you've got 2 teams like these on the playoff bubble, every game matters. This should be a good one.
Very consistent tonight at the offensive end. Right there, he helps fuel the fire.
Here's MP, and that's his 4th bucket of the game in 7 attempts.
You know, the really good players in this league, the great players, understand the value of the mid-range shot. And that's why MP has it in his arsenal.
Hunter can't get it to go.
No defender in sight. He tries to take initiative, but ultimately comes away empty-handed.
MP is doubled. And a bit of a battle for the ball. And the officials signal a jump ball here. Gobert passes to Conley. And here's MP. Offline from the high post.
Great defense. Can't let guys get open looks inside the arc.
It's stolen by MP. The shot by Conley, no good. The Hawks have gotten 50% of their shots to fall so far. They're 5 of 10. Young, the pass to Okongwu. Oh, the dunk by Okongwu!
Yeah, what a look. I mean, Young, a high-level passer.
7-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. MP shot is off. For Atlanta, they've gone 6 of 11 so far. Young with it. Still no points. Outside Murray. Young against Conley. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. And so he hits the technical free throw. He's checked in for Hunter. MP's checked in for Minnesota. McDaniels comes in for Alexander Walker. Starting the second quarter, about a minute gone. Setting the floor for the Timberwolves. McDaniels and Towns in at the forward slots. Edwards out there with Monte Morris. And it's MP in at the 5 spot. And it's Bogdanovich off the drive. The kick out to Johnson. Pass to Young. And the foul called on MP. That's his first foul. Edwards comes with a double team. Capella finds Young. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's the 3. Look at Young, making it look easy.
The control of Young, unleashing a devastating dribble move and finding the shot.
Over to the wing. Towns passes to MP. He drains it. Made half his shots. He's 5 for 10 now.
And you like the balance here. Not just falling in love with the 3-ball.
And Clark, when Karl Anthony Towns is on the floor, he's one of the best big men in the NBA.
Well, you said it. The key words there, on the floor. I'm sure Cat is frustrated by the injuries he's had over the years, and he's doing everything in his power to stay as healthy as possible.
Time now to hear from our reporter, Allie LaForce.
Anthony Edwards carries a swagger about him. He said, quote, "I am the most confident person in the world. I've always felt like I'm the best at everything I did." Coach Finch said, quote, "He is super confident, he's real, and he's genuine. A lot of guys have a confidence that hides in insecurity. He is not that. He knows who he is as a person and as a player." Brian?
Yeah, great point. Thank you, Allie. Here's Bogdanovich after the Timberwolves picking up a basket a moment ago. Pass to Johnson. Down low. Here's Capella. And it's Capella with the jam.
How about the force from Clint Capella? When he's got good position inside, he's throwing it down.
Outside McDaniels. And that comes off the assist by Morris. Morris has got 3 assists tonight.
And another great assist. The offense is really clicking now.
You know, the defense has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That's his first foul of the game. And a new group getting ready for the Hawks. Okongwu's checked in for Clint Capella. Hunter comes in for Johnson. Griffin, he's checked in for Bay. And Murray subbed in for Bogdanovich. Gobert's checked in for the Timberwolves. Timeout call, the Timberwolves. And the Hawks making a change here. Bogdanovich is checked in. Alexander Walker, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. Conley comes in for Morris. .151 left to play in the first half. Well, we normally don't pick favorites, but come on. Do you have a player you like watching the most, Grant?
All right, B.A., you're going to get me in trouble, but I do love Ja Morant. I mean, he flies, he plays so fearless, and he also gets his teammates involved. Ja is really fun to watch.
Here's MP. And that misses. That would have put him up.
One reason this game is so tight is because both teams are hitting the boards with reckless abandon.
The battle to a standstill on the boards has really been something to watch, and the game's not over yet. We'll see if one of these teams maintains more energy than the other going down the stretch.
Murray for three. Nails it from three. Murray's gotten himself going with a triple, his first basket of the game. MP outside. From the corner. That one's good. And it's Conley who picks up the assist.
Their offense is really humming right now, and it's because of the beautiful ball distribution.
10 straight points off assists. That's very impressive, and it also makes the game easy and fun to watch.
Hunter can't get it to go.
Just imagine if he was shooting better. The lead would be even bigger.
Here's MP. Oh, can't tie it up as that one misses. To the middle. And down it goes. Jam that one home.
Oh, my. That's why we had those breakaway rims.
Dude, he risked pulling the whole thing down to the floor right there.
Boy, that was a great dunk, and we've got a great game here.
Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Pass to Murray. "15 seconds left in the second. And here's Hunter from the arc. Count it. That's his 6th field goal in 12 tries.
Boy, Murray's court vision very sharp, and he's unselfish too. You love seeing that combination.
Ooh, stolen by Murray. Doesn't go that time. And so it's Atlanta closing out the quarter with a 7-point lead. The flow of the game has favored them in general. But hey, the tide can shift. We'll be right back after this word.
Hello and welcome.
I think for Atlanta, well, I know you want to talk about standings and such, but right now, it's the GYGP. I know neither of you knows what that means, so I'll help you. It means galvanizing.
All right, and looking now at the first half, it's been an almost but not quite story for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Appreciate you joining us.
And if you're just joining in, one half is in the books, one half to go. MP really making a difference here.
And in the first half, he dominated in the post. He got the looks he wanted and was able to execute.
Yeah, you know what? I think he's doing exactly what he has to do. Using his body, shaking off contact, and then finishing at the rim.
The talented duo of Young and Murray of the backcourt. A.J. Griffin out there with DeAndre Hunter. And it's a Kongwu in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the 5 to begin the second half for Quinn Snyder. Now here's Young. From deep. The rebound by the Timberwolves. Gobert's got 4 rebounds now. Well, Clark, no question which end of the floor Rudy Gobert makes his biggest impact.
Yeah, he's a demoralizing defender. I mean, his height and reach give him some significant advantages, but it's more than that. You don't win multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards just because you're tall and long. You got to have some toughness, you got to have some anticipation and timing, and the willingness to get down and dirty.
Minnesota with the ball after the Hawks picking up a basket just moments ago. And here's MP from outside. Oh, another miss by MP. The Hawks leading. Griffin outside. Pass to Hunter. Now here's a Kongwu. He's guarded by Conley. And here's Griffin outside. He buries it from 3.
This defense just can't stay connected to shooters.
And it's Conley with the ball for Minnesota. Next up on the schedule, the Nuggets, a home game. That game marks the start of a 4-game homestand for the club. Oh, another miss by MP.
Since halftime, they've missed 3 of their first 4 shots. Still trying to get their legs under them.
Griffin finds a Kongwu. Oh, the dunk by a Kongwu!
Nice one-handed jam. Simple and effective, B.A.
Hey, with the lead, I'm surprised he didn't come up with something a little more creative.
Well, I think he did plenty of damage nonetheless. I mean, it was only with one hand, but he still threw that down pretty hard.
We see this every night. He has the skill and versatility to keep a defense guessing.
Pass to Hunter. Goes up at the elbow. That's in. Coming off an assist from Young. Young's got 4 assists in the game.
Everything working for him out of the half as they've hit 4 of their first 5 shots.
Now here's Edwards. With the drive. And Edwards slams it in.
Fearless drive by Edwards, taking the ball right into the defense and finishing strong.
Atlanta's gone 1 of 2 shooting from the perimeter since halftime. All right, let's get a report from Allie.
The G League is continuing to be a laboratory, if you will, for new rule changes that eventually make it to the NBA, from the coach's challenge to take foul. Possibly up next, a target score for overtime instead of a running clock. It's been a popular change in the G League, and it eliminates multiple overtime games. Brian, it could make the jump.
I like it. It's worth a shot. Thanks, Allie. And it's good. 2 points.
We've seen that more than once today. An effortless basket inside.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
Outside Edwards. Pass to MP. And there are the Timberwolves with another bucket.
Well, there's no denying MP has put in countless hours in the gym. And this type of performance serves as a testament to his work ethic. You know, after connecting on 1 3-pointer in the first half, he hasn't netted another one since.
Pulls up on the wing. Oh, another miss by MP.
You know, you'd like to see a little more effort there defensively, but maybe they wanted him to take that shot, baited him into it.
And the defense got away with one there. I mean, that's a shot he typically makes.
Inside. Rebound Atlanta. They held a 12-point lead earlier. Up top Young to the inside. It's blocked by Gobert.
So good at finding these swats. Gobert loves reaching out and sending them away. Huge size disadvantage for the defense. You might as well just get out of the way when that's the case.
The Hawks have gotten 5 of 10 shots to go. Murray passes to Hunter. Back to Murray. And so it's going to be a 3-second violation there on the defense. And he shows the focus there. Nails the tee. So for the Hawks.
All right, MP, get back in there.
And we've made our way through just over a minute and a half of this fourth quarter. Shot is good by Edwards.
Well, Edwards looking almost automatic there. Didn't wait too long to put that shot up.
On the court for Minnesota. Conley at the guard with Edwards next to him. Rudy Gobert is out there with MP. And it's McDaniels in at the 3 spot. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Hawks.
Well, they have owned the offensive perimeter throughout this game, finding lots of openings and turning them into big shots.
And they've also been ferocious inside, really taking advantage in the painted area and making good on those chances.
And Atlanta has possession. 11-point game. Ooh, too long in the paint. And he's hit with a 3-second violation. And such great talent in the league, Clark. But the All-Star game last season, not the most competitive. Does that need solving?
It certainly needs attention because the game has dwindled from anything near competitive for a decade or more. I've not been a fan of it because it's basically turned into a glorified layup line. And I don't think that reflects well on the game. I know the fans enjoy the engagement and the weekend, but the game itself needs retooling in a big way, in my opinion.
Okongwu. Oh, a clear foul there on the missed shot. So he'll get a pair at the line.
Heady play to stop that easy layup right there. I mean, make him earn it at the line.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, free throws are always better than a layup, so I'd agree with you there.
And both free throws good for Okongwu.
Really always a plus to have a big guy stroke it from the line like that. The soft touch on full display.
Pass to MP. He tries for 3. Griffin pulls down the board. Griffin's got his 6th rebound on the night.
You have to credit their effort. I mean, they've done an amazing job on the glass.
And it's been a well-rounded performance. I mean, strong rebounding has certainly been at the center of it, but it's been good on a number of levels.
Young against Conley. Now here's MP. Hunter with some nice D.
And the shooter had very little space on that attempt.
And guys, that's exactly the kind of high-impact defense they want to see out of him.
Murray for 3. McDaniels with the rebound. McDaniels got 4 rebounds in the game. Here's MP. Gotta get done inside. MP.
Really good trip down the floor. MP converting in close.
No need to rush here. Take your time.
Take your time. This is where you can reset and try to get a good shot.
Back to Murray. And here's Hunter from the arc. It's good. And the assist goes to Murray. Murray's got 4 assists now tonight. 1:43 left to play in the 4th quarter. On the wing, MP. Shoots it from the corner. Here's Gobert. And the bucket counts. And he is on his way to the line. He'll try to make it a 3-point play. Both teams will make substitutions. That one misses for Gobert.
Look, we all know Rudy Gobert is a force on defense, but you can't afford to ever ignore this guy. I mean, he's got the physical gifts to make problems anywhere on the floor. Hey, this was exactly the kind of game Coach wanted to see from them. High effort, great play at both ends, gets the win for the Hawks.
A pair of tremendous rebounding teams.
And these guys played a little harder tonight, and that was the edge they needed.
And they'll chalk this up as their 3rd win of the year.
And they meet just twice, so taking the first meeting means a lot to this team.
When it is just a 2-game season series, the team winning game 1 has that slight mental edge going into the second meeting, knowing they've already solved their opponent one time and only have to do it one more time.
And one player just stole the show tonight, doing everything for his team. A monster night for DeAndre Hunter.
And, you know, there was no stopping him tonight. Whenever he got the ball, he was looking to score, and rightly so.
And the free throw, no good. And so Capella will bring it up for the Atlanta Hawks. 17 points was their biggest margin. And a slam dunk by Capella.
Their home crowd has energized them all game. Now they're closing it out.
And I think they can start that celebration right now. I mean, what a terrific team victory.
It's stolen by Johnson. This is why you want ball movement and player movement.
And that's made it hard for the defense to key in on any one individual.
Now here's Bogdanovich to the paint. Outside Johnson, just 5 on the clock. On target from range.
And guys, that's got to be the dagger. This is how you finish a game.
Yeah, what a time to put the hammer down. Any hope of a comeback? Diminished.
On the wing, MP, covered by Johnson. Another miss by Minnesota. So we see the Hawks taking the W here. Even early on in this game, they appeared happy to be playing at home.
And it makes a huge difference. Once they started to get into a groove, you never really felt like they wouldn't come out on top.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Grant Hill, Allie LaForce, and Clark Kellogg, this is Brian Anderson thanking you all for tuning in tonight. So long, everyone.